Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode on Thoughts On. This is the third episode in the series, and today's topic is productivity. When I was thinking about this video, I was considering what I thought productivity to be and trying to define it. And I found myself struggling slightly with this notion because productivity can come in many forms. And if you ask different people, I'm sure that the response that you would receive would be vastly different. When I consider productivity, I believe it links nicely to the previous episode on purpose, but it's taking purposeful action. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, in essence, what I'm saying is that productivity should take you towards your goals. In other words, you should be able to progress towards what you want to achieve. Now, the inherent issue with this is the fact that productivity in and of itself is not clear cut. Most people would think probably that productivity has something to do with work, and most people who have jobs would probably think in this way. Some people might take a slightly different approach and say that productivity actually is the pursuit of personal goals, desires, and not just professional goals. And I tend to agree. So, in essence, what I think is that productivity has to be fine-tuned between professional and personal goals. And you could even divide it between public and private lives as well. But there are many traps that we fall into with productivity, and we assume that everything that's work related is productive. Now, if I consider a mundane example, such as replying to emails, right? Replying to emails keeps us busy, but does it actually produce any benefit, tangible result? Well, it could, because it could lead to the completion or the beginning of projects that are needing to be started. It could actually benefit you and your communication skills. So that could also be another emphasis you could take. But we have to be very careful not to get caught up in the minutiae of, well, I'm going to call it office culture. Now, I don't work in an office, as many of you know, but I still have to perform admin tasks as part of my job. And I think we can get very trapped at times with believing that admin equals productivity. Because truly, if you really analyze what your job and perhaps your life entails, then you might actually think a little bit differently about that. In a similar way that, at the weekends, if you're fortunate enough to be off like I am, or on your days off, whatever days that would be, then you might think that, doing chores, doing housework is productivity. And it might very well be. But again, we have to be careful. So, in essence, productivity is defined more by your own personality and what you attach value to. If you are somebody who enjoys having a clean space, then cleaning might feel productive to you. If you're somebody that hates cleaning, then it probably doesn't. So it's a very broad subject, this, and I don't feel that I've done it as much justice as I would like in the last 4 minutes. But I would be interested to hear your comments down below. So please do share with me what you think, and I'd be interested to know if you've ever fallen into any of those traps of believing productivity to be something that perhaps it isn't. Okay, thanks very much, and I'll see you on the next one.